Now, this is the confirmation and declaration for you to never kill your childlike self. Never kill your childlike nature. That spirit that you had as a child. I know they want us to move so fast. They want us to hurry up and get to where we think we need to be. And then when we get there, we then want to go back and relive what we used to be, how we got there, the process, the journey, right? When you were a kid, your imagination was so vast. You got into so many different things. You played so many different sports. Why'd you stop? Now, you don't have to do every single last one as a profession. You don't have to be a professional at every single one. But why'd you stop playing them sports? Why'd you stop having them ideas? Because somebody told you that is not realistic. Whole time, the dreamers, the thinkers are the people that change the world. And we can say, make the world as we know it, right? Never kill your childlike self. Every single last image, every single last thought, every single last feeling that you had when you did said situation, said moment, you have to relive that. You have to know how to circumvent that situation, stay in that frequency, and then highlight it. It's like a book, right? Since we're speaking of life, life is like a book. The pages and the chapters, the introduction and the conclusion of the book. You've read this book 5 times, but you've never highlighted anything in your life. You've never highlighted anything in this book with a pen, a highlighter, a pencil, a stencil, a colored pencil. Nothing. Not even a marker. Nothing. So what part of the book did you really enjoy? Or better yet, what part of the book can you share with somebody else and you can go back to it right now? AKA, this is the part of the book that touched me the most. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to highlight it. You didn't highlight anything. So when you give the book, when you give your story to somebody else, what will somebody else connect with most? You don't even know. Because you lost your childlike image, your childlike self's imagination. You lost it. Or better yet, it got shot. And it's hospitalized. To some, it got killed. Because remember this, not everybody is dead and buried whenever they're actually dead. Nah. That happens at 18, once they graduate high school, happens sometimes once they graduate college, get fired from a job, maybe have a kid. Death happens at different moments, right? Some can use it as a rebirth period, a rebirth transgressional period for them to, right? And what do most do? Most sulk. They feel and think too much of the situation. Excuse me. They feel and think too much of the situation, which keeps them stapled. Stapled to the couch, stapled to the bed, stapled to their emotions, stapled to their feelings. Now, if you really want to live like a child, don't think, be free. Love comes to you freely. Because you see family, you see friends, you may not have a lot, but what's a lot to a kid? You got what you got until you start comparing what you have to one of your other classmates. Then that's another variation in which it can kill your childlike self from the other kids, from their parents feeding them that cycle. It's a cyclical, sick fashion that happens over and over and over again. Now, I'm sure some of y'all are thinking, well, JB, how can I remain in that childlike self when I have responsibilities? I have bills. I'm not a child no more. I'm grown. I'm an adult. I'm not a child no more. Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. Love is like money, and money is like love. Money flows to you like air. Love should flow to you like air. These are things that people die for. Love and money. To be heard, to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be admired, to be at least talked to, bare minimum. That's why people would go out and pay a therapist just to psychologize with them. Because you can figure out the answers within. You speak to your spirit. Because you can do it right now. Who's speaking? Say basketball right now in your brain. Not out loud, of course, don't. In your house. Basketball! You ready? 3, 2, 1. One more time. Basketball. Say it. 3, 2, 1. Who said that? Exactly. Speak to that person. Speak to that over and over again. Make that connection stronger. Love and money flows to you freely. The more you can get closer to love being like money and money being like love, you're back at your childlike self. So you can abandon certain situations that it just doesn't excite you. Of course, you can still be grown. You can still be responsible. You can still have priorities and still have fun, still enjoy yourself. It don't got to be nothing crazy. It could be for 30 minutes in a day. It could be you hula hooping. How innocent is that? It could be you doing front flips in your yard. Because when you were a kid, you used to have a kiddie pool and do front flips and back flips in the pool. You know, imagery, you replay that over and over, it keeps your spirit alive. Shout out Kanye. It keeps your spirit alive. It keeps your spirit in flow. Because once it stays stuck like a bulletin board, like money on a bulletin board, you staple it, boom, you use a tack, use a thumbnail, and you staple it. Now it's concrete. Now it's rock hard. You can't speak to a rock and expect this rock to empathize with you. You're wrong for thinking that a rock is going to smile at you and pat you on the back and give you a hug when you need it. It's a rock. So the more you get back to that, this is what we need to encourage nowadays. Just do it because it's fun. Do it because it makes your spirit smile. You don't really hear too much music when the artist is making your spirit smile and become more energized. Now, the artists that do, timeless pieces. They make timeless music. And they actually are relatable to the people out there in the world because we are all in the same boat. Noah's Ark. We're all in the same exact boat. Just because you got enough money to buy a boat, buy a smaller boat, buy a yacht, don't mean you're not going through situations that somebody who can't afford the gas on a boat or a yacht. You're going through the same shit, dog. You're going through the same shit. So remember that, man. Remain. I was about to say remain humble, but I'm not too fond of that humble word. Now, knowing how to deploy humility is important, but being humble, we're not doing that no more. Not 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027. We're not being humble. That's not going to get you nowhere. It's going to get you ran over like a doormat. It's going to get you killed. Now, knowing how and when to deploy humility is a different story. That's called being wise. With wisdom comes silence. With wisdom and intelligence comes silence. You listen more than you speak. You know how to be the quietest and the most studious in a room. but also your presence be known, your presence is felt, right? So, to all my people out there, regardless of age, replay this video back, send it to somebody who's really been going through a very anchorous time, a strenuous time in life where it's like, God damn, I can't win for losing. You know, I cannot win for losing, and I'm sick of this shit. I just want to be left alone. I don't want responsibilities. Go back to your childlike self. This is when you need to deploy this energy now, today, tomorrow, yesterday. Because it's all a choice. Make the choice. In times of despair, you need to deploy something that makes you happy. You need to advise something to yourself that makes you smile. Do it today.